Hey guys, Demon Driver here, and what do we have here? We have a beautiful, hot-wired, freshly hot-wired A350 wing for our Lufthansa A350. Isn't that nice? I turned this out and sanded it in under an hour. I did all this in under an hour. And that's what we're going to do in this video. We're going to hot-wire out our A350 right wing. And that's what we're going to do in this video, okay? Thank you for joining me, and let's get down to hot wiring. Alright guys, let me show you what we're basically going to be hot wiring here. Right here is a model A350 wing, and we've got basically three sections that we're hot wiring. We're hot wiring from the number 2 engine out to the wingtip, which is going to be made out of balsa, and then we have the inner portion from the number 2 engine into the wing root, and then underneath we have a second lower portion of the airfoil where it meets the wing root at the fuselage. So that's a third piece. So we have three pieces. We have the outer piece from here out, that's this piece. Then we have inner piece of the wing, A350 wing, that's from here, that's this piece right here. Then we have the underpiece of the airfoil, which is going to be under here, like that. You understand? So that's how that's going to work. So three pieces to the A350 wing that we're going to hot wire for each side, right and left. 1, 2, and then a third piece under there. If you look at the profile of the A350 wing, what you have is you have this portion that tapers into the engine, stops, and then from there out it's basically it's almost a flat kind of a Clark Y from here out, but from here in it is a more of a semi-symmetrical airfoil, so that's why we have the three pieces there. So from here, 1, 2, and then the third piece out to there. So that's what we have. That's what we're going to hot wire right now, and that's what's going to give us our nice, clean airfoil, which will be very efficient and will give us a lot of lift. All right, let's start to add our hot wire stencils. Okay, sorry for all the wind noise. It's very windy right now, incredibly windy right now, and I gotta kind of fight through the wind and talking to you guys and pay attention to everything and make sure everything doesn't blow away. But this is the inner upper portion of the A350 wing. Engine goes here, fuselage goes here. So what we're going to do is we're going to add what I call the Man, it is windy. The mid airfoil right here. So there's the mid airfoil. Let's go ahead and weigh this down. I'm going to weigh that down. That's the mid airfoil. I place that right there. I'll go ahead and get some hot wire stencil pegs, and I go ahead and see what I'm doing. I press that straight in, and that holds the hot wire into position. And that keeps the hot wire exactly where I want it. Very important to have that. Just like that. And then I do the same thing on the other side. See, this is the wing root side of the airfoil. This is the top airfoil that meets the fuselage. Okay? And then this is the lower airfoil that's underneath here, so I'll do that on that second piece. And then here's the outer airfoil for the secondary, larger wingspan piece. So I go ahead and add this into position, like so. Put the pegs through. And I try to use shorter pegs for the wing airfoils. It just seems to be easier to do with the shorter pegs. Alright, there we go. Okay, this is ready to hot wire. And it's weighed down. I got the weight, weighing it down, keeping it down on the table. That's very important. Two important things. Flat table, a flat surface, and weigh down what you're hot wiring. That way it doesn't bounce around and move, because as you're using the hot wire, you don't want this piece bouncing up and down. So I might actually put a second weight on there. Okay, very important. I got my respirator. I put this on before I do anything. Put on my respirator. Very important. Okay, got my respirator on. I got the hot wire ready to go. Alright, I got my respirator on, I got the hot wire ready to go. Alright, here we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay the hot wire down straight, let it sink down into the styrofoam, and then I'm just going to gently let it glide along the stencil. You understand? And that will give me a crisp airfoil, perfect airfoil. It's very precise, very accurate. Alright, hot wire on. Hot wire's on, you watch the hot wire, you're going to start to see it smoke. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we'll drop right down there. You gently move the hot wire along the airfoil. Let it drop down. There we go, look at that. Hot wire off. Not bad. A little bit of a bump right there. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that bump. There we go. Now we're going to do this piece from here back. Hot wire bow on. I'm bringing the outside piece here around so that I come back straight and level with the trailing edge of the wing of the airfoil. You understand? That way it cuts evenly across the airfoils. I mean, 3D printers are great. I love 3D printers, but that's so much faster than the 3D printer. And there's other good things. I'm using my own hands. I'm actually using my hands to make this. And there's something more satisfying about that. Alright, hot wire bow off. Let's have a look. Look at that. Look at that. That is beautiful. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Isn't that nice? Perfect. That's perfect. That's why I like the hot wire bow. I can get the exact airfoil. I can get the exact airfoil I want with a hot wire bow. Alright, now let's do the outer portion from here out. Let's do that portion now. I got the hot wire bow off so I can take that off. I shut off the hot wire. Okay, so for this part of the hot wiring, I'm going to need the bigger hot wire, the bigger bow. And and this one's the small guy, so I'm going to get the big guy, and I'm going to, before I do that, I'm going to actually lay out the bigger section of the wing that we're going to hot wire. So let's take these sections out, and we got Yuki walking around. What's going on, Yuki? What are you doing? I don't have a respirator for you. You gotta get out of here. Come on. I don't want you breathing in this stuff. Come on, take a hike. Take a hike. Okay, so this is the outer section that we're now going to hot wire. Okay, so we got the mid airfoil, and then we have the outer airfoil. Okay, so let's get this bad boy out of here. Okay, let's do exactly what we did before with the airfoils, with the hot wire stencils. Go ahead and weigh the wing down. All right, like so. We have our outer airfoil right here. Hopefully you can see that. See, look, it's small. This wind is killing me, man. Too damn windy. It's driving me crazy. You hear all that wind? It is nuts. Alright, this is the outer airfoil. Let's go ahead and pin that into place. This is brutal. This wind is messing up the whole operation here, folks. Messing up everything. But we're not going to let this wind kill the show. Alright, we got our outer hot wire stencil in place. Now we're putting the mid stencil into position on the other side here, like so. We pin that into position. The only downside to hot wiring outside is you're kind of subject to the weather. And right now it is super windy. Okay. Hot wire pegs are in position. I got my weights down, and I'm going to get the big hot wire, and I'm going to come straight down mid-wing, straight down, and then out. So down, out. Okay? Does that make sense? All right, let's get hot wiring. All right, let's get ready to hot wire here. I know you guys see me use hot wires a lot, and I enjoy them. I have nothing against 3D printers. If you prefer using 3D printing to make your planes, that's up to you. I just find this is just easier, with exception to the gas. You know, the having to wear a respirator. I think the hot wire with the stencils gives you a really exact wing. You can create any airfoil you want, and it's faster. I think it's really fast because you can just hot wire out whatever you want, any shape you want, any fuselage part, wing section, anything you want. It's just, it's all really a question of having a hot wire or making one yourself. You can make these yourself. I prefer to go to the hot wire factory and buy them. Price-wise, I mean, the big bow and the power piece, you know, the power supply, I think it's like around $175 to $200. When you think about it, it's not that bad. So, but it's to each his own. You know, some people build the wing, you build it up with a structure inside, you do the card model method, you do my old fold over method, or you use 3D printing. It's really up to you, whatever you choose to do. I choose to use the hot wire because it just gives me a very precise wing that is very efficient and works well for me. Alright, let's get the hot wiring. Get my respirator, put it on. Alright. We're going to go down and out. Alright.
got to make sure that the hot wire is has enough tension so that the bow itself, the wire, isn't bouncing around. So it's taut, so it's straight across. You know what I'm saying? Because if that's screwed up, you're gonna have problems. All right, hot wire bow on. Okay, give it a minute to warm up. All right, there we go. All right, we're down to the lower airfoil. I'm moving the outside bow side more than the inner. Wait a minute, there we go. Coming straight down, and boom. It's a little bit, I mean, you got to get a knack to it. You got to kind of get a finesse to it. It'll take you several times to get it right, to kind of get that touch. But once you get it, man, you can't beat it. All right, here we go. Now we're doing the back side, the trailing edge of the hot wire and the trailing edge of the airfoil. Come on, you can get out of here. I'm busy. Nope. There we go. Hot wire bow off. Wow, look at that. Perfect. Perfect. That's perfect. That is absolutely perfect, man. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Yeah.
Look at that, man. Look at this. Isn't that nice? Look at that. In like the time you're watching this video, I got an upper portion of the A350 wing. I got my right wing. Look at that. Is that nice or what? How cool is that? What do you think, Yuki? Huh? You impressed? Look at that. In a span of that much time, we have a hot wired upper A350 wing and an intersection. Now we're going to do the undersection that fits under here. Okay, now we're going to do that part of the airfoil. That's next. Okay, I'm fighting a lot of wind here, so a lot of wind noise, unfortunately, so I hope you can hear me. So for this portion of the wing, this is the underside of the inner wing root portion. Okay, this is where from the fuselage wing fairing out to the engine. Okay, number 2 engine in this case, right wing, and this is the airfoil underneath. This is the lower airfoil. Okay, so got the piece, got the airfoil. Now, where things are going to be a little bit different with this piece is going to be airfoil here, but because it blends away down to nothing, this side doesn't have to have an airfoil. Do you understand? Because the hot wire will ride the airfoil, but it will come to an end here. So it will come down diagonally to there and be nothing. So this is going to, the hot wire stencil will actually be the wooden table itself for this portion. You understand? So that's how that's going to work. You'll see, you'll understand once I do it, and then you'll be like, ah, okay, I understand what he did. Right now, the way I'm explaining it is not exactly that straightforward. So sometimes when you see something happen, it's a little bit easier to kind of understand when you see it actually taking place. So I'm going to be putting a hot wire stencil on this side, on the wing root side. But what's so cool about the hot wire is it's fast, man, and I'm using my own hands. I have the satisfaction of knowing I use my hands to make this. I didn't just sit back and let something else do the work. I did, you know? And there's satisfaction with that because you're really scratch building. You know what I'm saying? You're actually doing scratch building. Yuki, watch out. Look at this cat. What are you doing? Oh, you goofball. Huh? Alright, there you go. There's your moment. Alright, say hi. Time to go. Okay. Come on, get out of here. Driving me crazy. Cramping my style, cat. Do exactly what I did before. Get the respirator on. No fooling around. Got to put that on. Don't risk it.
Okay. Here we go. Alright, we're going to come down and then out. Hot-wire bow on. Okay, here we go. And we're going straight down to the table. You understand? You'll see when it's done. I'm telling you, man, the hot-wire bow is easy. It's a lot of fun. Only downside is the gas, is the byproduct. That's the only bad part. And you see, I almost caught myself there because I had the wire. That's a no-no. That was a screw up on my part. I almost cut the wire. You got to be careful of that. You got to watch that. Did you see what's happening? I'm going down to nothing right there, and the hot wire is going straight down to there. There we go. Now we're going to do the back side. Okay, we got a little bump there. We got a bump there, so we got to clean that up. Right there, we got a bump. So let's clean that up. Let's straighten that out. Okay. Perfect. That little bit of striation there, these holes here don't matter because once this is flush up against, okay, I got the
Hot wire bow off. Once this is flush up against the underside of the wing, this little thing won't matter because I can blend that in with spackle. That doesn't make any difference. But it adds to the scale look. Having this underside piece kind of adds to the overall scale look of the A350 wing. So let's go ahead and add it to the wing, and let's have a look and see how it comes together, how it came together. Okay, now that we got our sections hot wired of our A350 wing, let's go ahead and smooth them out a little bit. Let's hit them with some sanding, do a little sanding on them, little sanding blocks, get them sanded down. Get my dust mask. All right, let's hit them. Got a sanding block here.
Now I got the underside here. These come in real handy, these duster cans. They're a lot easier to use than having a compressor sitting around. I can just carry this around, dust off whatever I need to. They come in real handy. Even dust off the camera.
Okay, so we've spackled, we've added lightweight spackle, Red Devil one-time lightweight spackle to our A350 wing sections, like this one right here. This is the inner wing section, upper inner wing section. There's a lower inner, and then the outer portion. And what we're going to do is we're going to use various sanding blocks and sanding tools, flexible sanding pads, to go ahead and sand the spackle down smooth so that we get a smooth surface. If you see, I use the spackle to fill in any imperfections. When I hot wire it, then I bring the spackle in, let it dry, and then we come in and sand it smooth. So that's what we're going to do right now. Now for this, all you need is an N95 mask. Well, literally, that's easier said than done. Luckily, I had several of these. I always have these on stock because I use these all the time. So having these for me is not a big deal. So go ahead and put yours on. A simple dust mask, even a cloth mask like people are using now is fine for this because it's just plaster dust. It's nothing that crazy. So I just come in and I use this this honeycomb style sanding pad. If you look at it, it has a kind of a honeycomb tile effect, and it's good for getting these uneven surfaces. This is like a 160 grain, maybe a 120. So you first start with that, and then what I do is I'll sometimes come in with a rougher sanding block, or one that's a little, this is like an 80. This is an 80 right here. So the lower the number in sanding number, the rougher the grit. So this is probably a 40 grit. This is an 80. This is a 100 or a 120. So the finer the grit, the higher the number, the finer the grit, the lower the number, the coarser the grit. So I come in with this, and at this stage I'm trying to come in any plaster that's not smooth. I'm trying to make it all uniform and smooth. You want it uniform and smooth to the eye, and I close my eyes sometimes and feel the wing surface, and I can feel sometimes right there where there's a little bump or a ridge. So you see how clean it's starting to get? And this really doesn't take that long. It's just literally elbow grease. One of the important things to remember when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you don't alter the curvature of the airfoil of the wing. That's important. So I run my hands over it, and I can feel any kind of imperfection, and I can get rid of that imperfection. So then after that, I go down to a flexible sanding pad. This is about, again, this is about at 80. About at 80, so it's a flexible pad version of that. Come in, and now we can really smooth it out with this. I mean, my method of scratch building is very hands-on. I made a decision not to use any 3D printing in the actual building of planes right now, because unless I'm doing like a bomber, and I need, you know, 16 50 caliber machine guns or something like that, then I might use a 3D printer for that. I've decided on the seats of the Emirates and the seats of the A350 Lufthansa, I'm going to make those by hot wire. I'm not going to use a 3D printer for that. And the reason being, the foam pieces that I can make by hand, by hot wire, are actually lighter than the plastic out of a 3D printer. And if I'm going to be adding 300 plus seats to this Lufthansa A350, I might as well keep them as light as I can, since they're going to fly with the plane. So, again, no preference, you know, nothing against 3D printing, but in this case, I get more satisfaction knowing I made it by hand. This feels better. To me. To you, it may be different situations. Just know that the end goal is to have an RC plane that flies. That's all that matters. Look at that, man. And dust that off. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that nice and smooth? So you know what we started out with. Now we got that. Perfect. Now this is ready to be laminated with some Minwax, or I seal it with Minwax or shellac, and then I can laminate it with the 30-minute epoxy, and then lay the balsa over top of it. And that's after I put the balsa leading edge on. There we go. Only downside is dust, so you gotta have a compressor or air bottle, or just a brush. You know, you just kind of brush the dust away. That's the only downside, man. A lot of how I scratch build is a little messy. I will definitely admit to that, man. It's messy, but it works. It's very effective. And here we are, huh? Look at that. Hot wired in under an hour. A350 right wing. A little bit of sanding. Next, I'll spackle it down. Then I'll add its balsa leading edge to it. Then the 1/32 balsa laminate upper sheet. It's going to be perfect. So, as always, my friends, I appreciate you guys watching my videos and spending some time. And I hope this video helps you in your scratch build, okay? Demon Driver here. Be safe. God bless. Thank you.